I do want to lay a little bit of my bias out on the table for you to know. I did not come into this job, this career, expecting to love a brand as much as I do Genesis. I have absolutely loved every single product they have brought us, and they just keep getting better. They find ways to improve upon their models in small but meaningful ways. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the updated 2026 Genesis GV70. With small tweaks both inside and out, this top trim 3.5T Sport Prestige all-wheel drive stickers for just under $73,000. In this video, I will help you examine if it's worth that price tag. All right, gearheads, before we get too far into this one, I do want to say a huge thank you to Genesis for not only taking us down to Houston to get the first drive experience of these earlier this year, but now to get to spend a full week with it here on our home turf, truly living with this vehicle for a week to know how it fits in our family life. Speaking of which, if you want to see not just my thoughts, but Tucker's thoughts and opinions and Holly's thoughts and opinions of what this compact luxury crossover has been like for us, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you will see our family review when it drops after this one. But huge thanks once again to Genesis for allowing us to live with this one for a full week. As I mentioned, yes, this is the top trim, the top spec, the 3.5T Sport Prestige all-wheel drive. This is as luxurious as it gets. And given the name, yes, you can pretty much surmise that we do, in fact, have a 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6 under the hood. Here, making 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque, sending all that power to all four wheels via an 8-speed automatic. And we do, in fact, have multiple different drive modes in this: Snow, Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Custom, all of which we will examine in a little bit when we are behind the wheel. You may have also noticed we have some additional structural bracing underneath this long hood just to make this vehicle even more structurally rigid. Again, we will touch on that when we are driving, but closing the hood, we have small tweaks for the 2026 model year, just kind of bringing it up, modernizing it just a bit, starting with this new signature paint color. This is a series blue named after the Star series. And yes, it is very celestial in nature. It's a little blue, it's a little purple, it's very metallic, and I like it a lot. We do get the updated 3D Genesis badge here on the hood. And then we get updated lights. We've got the multi-lens array. We've got that two-line design, that theme that runs throughout the entirety of this Genesis product. We have functional air curtains allowing air around the front. We've got the dark chrome grille. All of it absolutely works cohesively together and works for me. And we haven't even gotten to the interior that I feel like Genesis called me up and said, hey, what would you like? That's coming here in just a moment. Okay, while the general public may not be able to tell the face of a 26 apart from a 24, the wheels are a definite call out and difference. So again, us having the top Sport Prestige trim, we get these 21-inch wheels that again echo that two-line design theme that we see on the headlights. The outgoing wheel design kind of had a waffle cone element to each of the spokes. These are a painted kind of metallic graphite wheel with a two-line design all the way around. Very sporty, very athletic. Wrapped in two 55/40 R21-inch Michelin Primacy Tour tires. I really do like the Primacy Tour line of tires. They've worked well in most of the luxury vehicles we've tested. As we pull around to the side, again, this is a mid-cycle refresh, so no big structural changes, small nips, tucks here and there. They do emphasize the overall classiness of the exterior. We don't have black wheel arches anymore, but we do have that black line running down along the bottom of the vehicle. Just kind of gives it a more premium look all the way around. We do have those design element lines that start with the hood, that starts tapering off just behind the back door, and then that is picked up by the belt line, these hip lines right here on the back door. It is all a very cohesive look that I really like, especially pulling around here to the back. So that crease, that hip line really does give the Genesis GV70 a wide look back here in the back, gives it an aggressive stance. Now, some upgraded things back here in the very back. We have updated tailpipe cutout areas. So while the 3.5T versions in the past had big round exhausts, here we have trapezoidal-like exhausts on the 26 models. Then we do have those two-line element taillights back in the back, all LED of course, and a hidden button to get into the power-operated rear hatch. And of course it's not going to work while I try it for the first time on camera, but pushing it a little more forcefully, yes, it does open up. You have a nice cargo area in the back of the Genesis GV70. It's kind of a sport SUV coupe-like design. We do have that tapering rear window, giving it a more coupe-like design. I really do like this dark chrome element that again dips below the window. Most other manufacturers would have done this chrome line up here and not dipped it down and around the window. All that to say, it has a coupe-like design, but still gives you a lot of cargo space back here in the back. If you need more, we do have a little bit of storage space underneath this hard cover down here. You can see we do have a temporary spare and all the necessary tools. A lot of sound deadening materials back here, so you don't have to worry about a lot of noise. Again, that is something we will touch on while driving it. But if you need more cargo space than what you have right here, Genesis does give you a couple of handles where you can fold those back seats down. They are 60-40 split, and you can see now we've got even more cargo space right here from the back of the vehicle. You can also fold those down from the sides of the vehicle, but I like having the option back here at the rear. Given that this is a power hatch, we do have our button to close it right there, and you also have a lock button. So pressing that lock button will lock all your doors and close the hatch. Coming to me, I'm 5'10". You can see it opens up nice and wide, right at 6 foot, just a little bit above. And then when you press those buttons, it does give you a few beeps to let you know maybe you need to get out of the way. Before we get in this one, I did want to show you the Genesis key. It is the new Genesis key. It's this quilted-like design. It's a little big, but all your buttons are relegated to the sides. You can see we have hatch release, lock, unlock, panic button over here. And on this side, you have a remote start and your remote parking button. So you can actually move this vehicle forward and backward, which I will show you here momentarily. But I did want to also show you a demonstration of that smart liftgate system. So you just come back here with the key near the tailgate. It'll beep 3 times at you to let you know the tailgate's about to open, and then it does just that and allows you to get in completely hands-free. No need to dance trying to find a particular spot to kick underneath the tailgate. It just opens up while you stand back there, and those 3 beeps do give you enough time to move out of the way if you don't intend for the hatch to open. But I did mention the remote parking, so we're going to lock it, press and hold the engine start button. It fires up, and then we are going to push the smart parking button here and see exactly what happens. The wheels will straighten out and the vehicle will start moving forward or backward. I'm pushing the forward button currently, but now, yes, you can see it is moving all by itself. Nobody inside. I'm simply pushing the button here on the key fob. That also works in reverse. We'll go ahead and push and hold the reverse button, and it will move back. Now, it will go just over a full car length in either direction. allowing you easy access if somebody parks too close to you, or if you park in a tight garage spot. It does come in handy in multiple different situations. Then Genesis gives you a completely passive entry system. You touch on the backs of the door handles, it unlocks it. That is on all 4 doors. You can lock it back by pressing right there. We have more of that dark chrome here, and unfortunately it does show a little bit of body oils coming inside. I do want to go ahead and sit inside this one before we talk about design of the doors, because having the key in my pocket after remote starting it means that I don't actually have to start the vehicle again. It realizes, okay, the vehicle's on, the key is inside, no need to actually make me push that start button one more time, which is something that Genesis does that I really like. I do want to give you a quick look at the door here. So the interior is perhaps the most reworked for 2026. I really love this ultramarine blue with orange accents. This interior was designed specifically with me in mind. And then we have like this airplane wing-like design theme. Looks like a cross section of a wing. You will see that in multiple places. We have it here on the driver 2-seat memory button. We have it here on the door handle pull. We actually have it down here on the carbon fiber accents. We have it in multiple different places. We do have a little bit of storage here in the door pull, a little bit more storage down here. It is rubberized up here, which is nice. All of it works together very well. These are not soft closed doors, but you do not have to slam them to close them. Moving across the entirety of the dash, you will see there are some big upgrades and some small upgrades. The biggest upgrade is the 27-inch OLED screen. This is something that we are seeing throughout the Genesis lineup. We see it in the G80, the GV80, now here in the GV70. It is a 27-inch 3-section screen that I will show you a little bit later when we are actually running CarPlay. This does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Though I'm filming on my phone right now and currently have that disabled, I will show you full details of that here in just a moment. Back here, we have our driver information screen. You can see, yes, obviously fully digital, but you can pan through multiple different displays throughout the screen. So your dials can look different. You can have a more traditional look or a more futuristic look. And then you can actually scroll through various different things to be displayed here on the screen behind the steering wheel, including your fuel economy. One thing I really like is when you swipe across the screen, you actually have to grab it and pull it. It is a very cohesive look all the way across. You can see the mountains. It does use the ambient light sensor in the vehicle for the headlights to know what kind of scenery to put back behind here. But on certain screens, when you pan through them, you can see like the map screen, it goes all the way across, which is a very cool look in my opinion. But generally we leave it on our fuel economy settings, though we don't look at the screen too much because we do have a head-up display with all the pertinent information up here. You can see we can also turn on our lane centering, which gives you a little bit more. You do get that traffic sign recognition display up there as well. You can see we get multiple different buttons here for our ADAS stuff. We get a touch sensitive pad here that can control what is displayed on that section. We can also move it over here. Lots of customization across this big screen. These are cameras right here paying attention to me, making sure I'm paying attention to the road. I will get drowsy driver notifications if I'm not paying attention, or maybe I need to look at the road more. All of that is based on the cameras back here behind the wheel. Nice thick-rimmed, leather-wrapped, heated tilt and telescoping, power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. It is very nicely padded, very thick-rimmed, very premium wheel. You can see it is a flat bottom, just lending to the premium feel all the way around. Genesis logo here, all that orange stitching over here. And if you look, starting right here, going all the way across the dash, we get more of that elliptical cross-section of an airplane wing look design for all of our controls here. Starting over my left knee, you can see we have our hatch, traction control, downhill descent control, and our screen brightness all right here. We have an electronic parking brake with controls right there. Coming over here, we get physical controls for our entertainment system, so volume and tuning. And then moving down, we get physical controls for our dual zone. It's actually a tri-zone climate control system. So your dual zone front, and then you can control the rear through this. All this is a touch sensitive area pad that you can see does change based on what you have selected. And we do have ventilated and heated front seats here. So heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated front seats, all of which work together very nicely. You can just put it on auto and it'll take care of everything for you. But it is already warm here on this East Texas summer day, so I don't want to completely drown out my voice with the AC blaring at me. Then we have a reworked center console here. The older generation had kind of a floating section right here with more of that airplane wing-like design. Now it's more of a flat, cohesive design. Carbon fiber inlays back here. All of our quick access buttons for our engine start stop, our different drive modes. I did want to go ahead and show you Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and My Mode. When you put it in Sport or Sport Plus, the bolsters on the seats do grab you just a little bit tighter. Parking sensor, parking camera button here. We do have 360 cameras in this that are very nice. You can even pan around a 360 version of your vehicle. It's got the right wheels, it's got the right paint job. Just the compute power that goes into being able to stitch together all these images and pan around the vehicle like this is quite impressive. But I do like the 360 cameras in this that are very easily accessed by that button right there. We do have different drive terrain modes. We have snow, mud, and sand. Those work in conjunction with your drive modes. So I would recommend sport and sand mode to get out of some really treacherous situations. But yes, moving down further, you can see we've got controls and a control knob here for the screen. So while this is a touch screen up here, you also have a control knob that you can page through stuff and just use this knob. The top part is also touch sensitive, so I can swipe through different menus and options here as well, all of which work very nicely together. I like options. I don't like being tied into one thing. So if you like a knob, you've got a knob. If you want a touchpad, you've got a touchpad. If you want a touchscreen, you've got a touchscreen. Options are great. Down here, we've got a fingerprint reader for your different drive modes, so you can just log in by pressing your finger right there. Aluminum panel here that is showing oils just from us touching it. You can see we have an auto hold in traffic here. Our 8-speed automatic is controlled right here by this drive knob. Again, putting it in reverse triggers your cameras. You turn it to the right for drive, left for reverse, center for neutral, and press P for park. It is backlit, but it is a little more similar to this knob than previous year models used to. We had knurled metal around here. Now they are both crystal, just something to keep in mind. 2 cup holders, easier to get to because of this more flat design that they gave us here. Qi wireless charger has been moved back. It's not under a panel or anything. It is in a very useful spot right here. Then you can see we do have a USB-C cord, which is plugged in the center console here, because I generally like charging via USB-C. It works more consistently, though I do like how Genesis raises up the Qi wireless charging center portion to allow a little bit better airflow around while your phone is charging. But then we have this felt-lined center console, 2 USB-C ports, and a 12-volt, 180-watt power outlet right there. Removable little center section here. Nice storage underneath the console here. And we do have these channels for your cords to run out and not be pinched. Speaking of felt-lined, we have a felt-lined damped glove box up here. Very spacious, very roomy, lots of space in there. Our owner's manual is actually right here, but you saw in the rear storage compartment, there's actually a place to store it back there. Again, ultramarine and orange is the theme in here. So ultramarine, dark blue seats here. You can see the passenger seat does have these auxiliary controls for moving forward and back, tilting the seat back, forward and back. So if you are chauffeuring someone around, you can control that right here very nicely. So this would work well for a very premium Uber X if that's what you're doing. And see, we also get orange seat belts in this one with adjustable height seat belts in the mounting on the A pillar or the B pillar. All of that works together very nicely. I do like the quilting on these, the orange stitching. It all works very nice, very cohesively. And yes, it's like somebody at Genesis called me up and said, "Hey, Corey, what would you like?" This right here. We do have a very dark tinted panoramic glass roof up above me. We have a suede headliner, suede roller shade back there. You can see I've got plenty of headroom. It is dark tinted enough that I don't really feel the heat coming in from it, but generally I like to keep them closed here in the summertime if I don't have the glass roof open. As we approach the back doors in the GV70, I will note we do have the passive entry door handles back here as well. So you can just pop to the back door, open it up for your kid to get in and out without having to unlock the front door. Also, ultramarine blue and orange stitching continues back here. We still get the orange seat belts, which I really love. And then a feature I absolutely love, the built-in sunshade, peasant blockers in the back windows. You can see they take up nearly the entire window. That works great for our family of 3. So much better than the suction cup window sunshades that you typically get in a family vehicle that you had to buy aftermarket. As we look at the back seat here, again, ultramarine blue, orange seat belts, orange accents, everything. I really, really, really like it. These are in their most upright position, but they do recline via that handle right there. Going to go ahead and climb in behind myself at 5'10". This is where I sit, and yes, I've got a decent amount of room. My feet do slide underneath the seat. You can already see, yes, I matched the vehicle. Ultramarine blue. I should have worn my orange shirt, but yes, really, really do like the interior of this one. Tri-zone climate controls are controlled on the back of the center console. We get air vents on the back of the center console, which is not my favorite placement for them because it does really have to work hard to get the air back to rear passengers, especially if you have a rear-facing car seat back here. It doesn't work all that well, but that is just part of the design of this vehicle, and it is not unique to this vehicle. A lot of vehicles do have center air vents on the back of the center console. We do have 2 more USB-C ports and a household-style plug back here on the back of the center console as well. Given this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, you do have to make room for a drive shaft to go back to those rear wheels. So you get a really tall tunnel here, kind of cutting out your legroom for your center passenger. But the footwells are big enough, I guess you could straddle that just fine. And the seat here is a little further up. You can see these sit recessed a little bit more with all the quilting and such. We do get a center fold-down armrest with a couple of cup holders in it, more grippers, just like what we saw up front. We get a center adjustable headrest, a seat belt mounted third seat belt, which I really like. Seat back mounted third seat belt. I think I said that right. But yes, I did mention this is in its most upright position right now. Go ahead and pull that lever and recline. Now it is very comfortable back here, and I have a nice view out of the deeply tinted panoramic roof, which I really like. I'll go ahead and close my door back here. It is nicely shaded thanks to my peasant blocker, which I have another one over here. Just put that up. And I have a very nice back seat back here. I do have a coat hook on both of the B pillars as well, all of which work together very nicely. I did want to show you just how much this back seat reclines. That's the most upright position. This is its most reclined. So you can adjust it in multiple different ways to get comfortable for your backseat passengers. And like I said, if you're giving someone a chauffeured ride around, you can actually move this seat forward and out of the way for a rear seat passenger. That's enough of a tour of this one. Let's hop behind the wheel and see how it actually drives. Moving inside, now that I've got my cameras up, I do want to lay a little bit of my bias out on the table for you to know. I did not come into this job, this career, expecting to love a brand as much as I do Genesis. I have absolutely loved every single product they have brought us, and they just keep getting better. They find ways to improve upon their models in small but meaningful ways. Again, the reworking of the center console here absolutely works. This new 27-inch OLED screen absolutely works. but it's not perfect. So you can see with all of the Genesis designed layout here, it is a very cool look. It very cohesively goes for my mountains. It's using local weather data. It's about to start raining here to say, yeah, maybe it's a little rainy. And then we've got our maps flowing into it. It all works, looks very nice and cohesive, but I did mention earlier how it's kind of divided into 3 sections, and you're about to see that. First and foremost, if you use Apple CarPlay at all, you get kind of this hard cutoff line and then the round corners of CarPlay. So it gives you a very distinct break from Genesis to CarPlay, which I guess is fine. I'll get over it. I'm not that OCD. But it gets a little bit worse still, because if you're using maps, you can actually display your Apple map or your Genesis map back behind the steering wheel here behind the gauges. But if you use the Apple maps, then you get this third panel here that's just the mountains and the rain. And it's just a bit odd that this doesn't encompass the entire screen. I don't know. I will be curious to see if Genesis leans into CarPlay Ultra when it is more widely adopted. Currently, you only get that feature where Apple controls all the screen real estate in something like a high-end Aston Martin, but it is made available to all auto manufacturers. It would be interesting to see if we could get a fully Apple-designed 27-inch display here on the screen here. Another thing I want to call out is our partnership with RaceBox. They have supplied us with this GPS race timer, lap timer, that allows us to 0 to 60 test all of our vehicles. You can get one for yourself and save 15% off in the process using our discount code below. As we get rolling in this one, I do want to go through the different drive modes. Sport Plus turns off traction control. It tightens my bolsters here on my driver's seat, really hugs me in close. Firms up the adjustable suspension. We have not yet talked about the suspension in this, but it is a fully adjustable suspension with road preview that we'll touch on here in a little bit when we get going. It also changes my gauges. It now looks like I have lightsabers for dials on the speedometer and tachometer behind the wheel. It is a very racy look, that is for sure. It changes my throttle mapping, changes a bunch of different things, including just how quickly we can get to 60. I am going to brake torque this one, so we're going to come to a full stop, stand on the brake with my right foot, stand on the accelerator with my right foot, and drop the brake. Oh my goodness. Off we go. The 8-speed automatic is rowing us through the gears rather quickly, and 5.36 seconds, 0 to 60 in Sport Plus. Brake torquing this, I might have misspoke. I was standing on the brake with my left foot, on the accelerator with my right foot, but 5.36 seconds from a very powerful twin turbo V6 under the hood. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. We will 0 to 60 test it a couple more times at the end of this driving portion. But what is this like to drive? What is it like to live with? I'm actually going to leave it in Sport Plus just for a little bit as we go through the first portion, because you can hear it changes where that transmission shifts, how the transmission shifts. It holds gears longer and gives me more audible feedback here in the cabin. Though I do believe some of that is piped in through the Bang & Olufsen sound system in here, which, might I add, sounds very nice. Otherwise, this is a very quiet cabin, to be sure. We've got the adjustable suspension, we've got those Michelin Primacy tires, and then we've got a lot of sound deadening. I pointed it out when we were talking about the rear spare tire back in the back. We've got a lot of sound deadening material in here. And then again, adjustable suspension, active noise canceling in here as well. So it's actively using the Bang & Olufsen sound system and some microphones in here to counteract the sound waves caused by road noise. And it has been a calm, quiet, serene place to be when we're not listening to music or when we're not racing around corners in Sport Plus. It is a truly wonderful vehicle. Like I said, I have loved every Genesis product they have brought us, and we even started our Genesis journey with the GV70 with the 2.5 liter turbo 4. So not even the most prestigious trim of their most prestigious vehicle. We started fairly low in their model lineup, and yes, I even love that one. Those also got updates for the 26 model year, but yes, we've only sampled the Sport Prestige with that 3.5T under the hood to date. As we get this one around on these highly textured roads, I will note that it is soaking up a lot of the sound from this road with the active sound deadening, with those Michelin Primacy Tour tires, and just everything that is going into making this a very nice luxury vehicle. As we pilot this thing around corners, especially in Sport Plus, the transmission is holding gears longer. The engine is more easily and ready to rev and pull us out of corners. The suspension is tighter, so we have less body roll. This is a great performance vehicle. And then again, we have the assuredness of all-wheel drive traction, with a majority of that going to the back wheels first and foremost. The front wheels just having added traction to pull you in and through and around corners. I really do like the chassis tuning of this. It is very well put together. It's very quiet in here. Even in Sport Plus, it's not beating me up. It is a comfortable vehicle all the way around, but we do have a few different ride tuning settings that we can change this to that soften it up just a bit. We'll go ahead and put it in comfort mode, where we have spent most of our week in this, and that does make the engine noises just a little more quiet in here. And yeah, the transmission is a little less eager to downshift for me, but I do have these paddle shifters, these metallic paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel, where I can tell it to do what I want it to do when I want it to do it, if that is the option I choose. But for the most part, I've been really pleased with the mapping provided by the Genesis engineers. It is all really well buttoned down and well put together. It is a very cohesive car all the way through. I am, again, very impressed with this vehicle as a total package. No real complaints. I mean, they are all just very small, very minor complaints, like the screen and things like that. The overall package, I absolutely love. I would buy one of these if I were in need of a vehicle. This one really would be high up on our list. We loved it sampling it in Houston. We love it even more now getting it here on our home turf. The brakes are very well planted and suited for this curvy East Texas back road. They don't bite too hard. They don't throw me forward. And even here in comfort mode, you can hear all the gear back in the back sloshing around, but I'm having quite a lot of fun, even, like I said, in the softer comfort mode here with this adaptive suspension with road preview. So it actually has cameras looking at the road ahead of us, pre-planning what the suspension is going to do when the vehicle actually gets to whatever the cameras picked up as we're moving forward. So very advanced suspension in this, and that is all wrapped in with all the other electronics and drive modes here in the GV70. Now that we're at the end of the twisty bit of road, I do want to go ahead and put this back in Sport Plus for another couple 0 to 60 runs, see exactly what this is like in multiple different scenarios. I will note this section of road is newly laid gravel, so we're probably going to get a little more wheel slip, but it will show exactly what this all-wheel drive traction is capable of doing and how it adjusts under these situations. We were just under 5.5 seconds 0 to 60 earlier, but we're going to come to a complete stop. Stand on the brake with my left foot, stand on the accelerator with my right foot, and drop the brake. Off we go. Yeah, I could feel it throwing gravel and such underneath me, but so far we are going in this one. We had a quicker 0 to 30, but slower 0 to 60, 5.56 here in this one. That go around. We're gonna spin around, do it one more time because we were going slightly uphill in that scenario. Now we will be going slightly downhill. Same situation, same road surface underneath me, but we'll come to a complete stop here firm on the brake, firm on the accelerator, and off we go. Yep, it's definitely sliding around on this road surface, but it's adjusting to it quite well. 5.55 seconds that time. So not my best runs these last two, and I think that is more due to the road surface than anything else. You can also hear it's holding those gears a whole lot longer, making sure that V6 is in its power band even longer. This does employ a Genesis's 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 that does require premium fuel, but my goodness, is it peppy and potent and ready and eager just to pull you through and around corners. I absolutely love this vehicle. It puts a smile on my face. Perhaps one of my favorite Genesis products. I like the G70 sedan just a little bit better. It's got a lower center of gravity than this SUV, this crossover does, and it's just a little bit more fun. You can get that one in rear drive, where all-wheel drive is your only option now here in the Genesis GV70. That about does it for my solo review and tour of this 2026 Genesis GV70 3.5T Sport Prestige all-wheel drive. If you want to see Holly's thoughts and opinions from behind the wheel, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you will be notified when that video drops. We will install Tucker's child safety seat. We will hear from Tucker, the man himself, to see what he thinks of this as a family vehicle. And we will just share a little bit more of what it has been like living with this one for a week here on our home turf. You can also find GT Garage Talk on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, all at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com, where you will find links to everything we do from there, including our award-winning podcast. But as for me, carving up these twisty back roads around Lake Tyler in the 2026 Genesis GV70. Until next time, gearheads. Bye. Woo! Yeah, this is a fun one. I would buy it. I would buy it. Whee!